then you're breaking off grams to eighths to quarters to ounces to QPs, half pound.
If you want to be like them,
Yes.
then start doing what they do.
Yeah, to be completely clear, I was getting in so much trouble and I wasn't anywhere happy or fulfilled.
You lived with drug dealers?
Yes.
Were you dealing drugs at a young age?
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't like on a high level or anything, but you know, not on the border area, there's a lot of drug activity, and you know, it's definitely.
So let's talk about
involved in
that.
that.
What got you into dealing drugs? What kind of drugs were you dealing?
I mean, I lit like, I don't know,
Cocaine?
cannabis, cocaine, yeah,
Ecstasy?
a little bit, yeah.
Anything else?
Nah, that's pretty.
All
pretty
street
good.
drugs? Any prescription stuff?
A little bit. And how I got into that was like I worked in spring break in South Padre Island, you know. And I went to military school. That's the part we didn't talk about.
We'll get there.
Boarding school.
We'll get there.
But that was a big like, because like a lot of kids at boarding school kind of open up your perspective, right? But when I got out, I was at, before I went into the Marine Corps, I was working at South Padre Island spring break. And one of my jobs was working at Club Revolution, which was like a rave club that opened at 2 a.m., you know.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like, I couldn't get a job at the other clubs at that age, but I could get a job there. So during the day, I worked at the Radisson Hotel, which was like the main place that everybody went, you know, and did that. And at night, I would work at Club Revolution, and that was where I saw a lot of crazy shit, and that's got introduced to all this stuff. With the drugs and everything. But if you look, like South Padre Island's right on the border of Mexico, so all that stuff over there. But with all that stuff, like getting into all that before I went into the military, I'm grateful for that because I don't want to be involved with that stuff at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Like I've already been around that street life.
How did you first get into dealing drugs at 18? Is that when you first started, was 18 years old?
Yeah, working at, you know.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. Like how did it go?
So, you know, you basically get, you know, back then, like with cannabis, it was about hydroponics. You know what I mean? So like you get access to like a pound of hydroponics, and then you got a digital scale, and then you're breaking off, you know, grams to eighths to quarters to ounces to QPs, half pound, whatever it is that you're doing with whatever it is. And then depending on how well someone teaches you, then you're basically got your business of how much you get it for and then how much you break it off for and sell it for.
I mean, with that, I guess what I'm kind of getting at is something has to spark the interest into getting into that kind of a business, you know? So were you just doing it and then selling it to friends, or was this...
No, I think it was
this
just
an operation?
Yeah, I think it was just that, like, you know, I was being gravitated in these environments that I was in towards, like, the hitters, you know, towards the, like, the action type people that were, like, I don't know.
Prominent in the scene? Yeah,
the ones that, like, seemed like they had shit figured out. I don't know, you know.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm here, I work at this club, and these guys have all these things that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And so talk to those guys if you want to start getting, like...
If you want to be like them, then start doing what they do.
Yeah, but at that time, like, to be completely clear, I was getting in so much trouble, and I wasn't anywhere happy or fulfilled or, like, liked any of this stuff. And that's why I was beating my head against the wall. And I have so much drive and everything, but if I don't have purpose, then like I'm just gonna end up like in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have drive. I want to make impact, but if I don't have purpose and I'm not like on some kind of a path or have a mechanism to add value to something, then like it's just gonna go down. But I think also like, dude, we see all these movies and they glorify all this stuff, right? And that's our culture. And then I live in an area that's like Scarface, machismo, like drug dealer, kind of like suave type culture. And that's not realistic.
Yeah.
That's a pipe dream that they sell you on a movie or something, you know? And that these guys, all those guys that were cool in the club, they all died or went to jail or have miserable existences in some way, or hiding out from people, or they got robbed.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I can imagine. How many people were you dealing to?
What do you mean?
When you were dealing drugs, how many people were you dealing to?
I mean, dude.
10, 20, 100?
Like 20.
20?
Yeah. Low key. And then I had experiences where I would live with drug dealers, but I wasn't really like the dealer, you know? So.
You lived with drug dealers?
Yes.
How did that happen?
I went to, so when I graduated college or high school, my first college that I tried was Texas Lutheran University. And when I got to that school, my roommate was a drug dealer. And we ended up moving out of off campus and living together. And he was a drug dealer from New York City. And
was he pushing a lot of drugs or?
He was pushing like I would say like he was a cocaine dealer, but he was getting like fronted like a few ounces and flipping them over a couple weeks or something like that.
Okay. So nothing major.
Nah.
Nothing major.
No, but some of those guys got into major stuff, you know, while I was in the military.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But so I really lucked out.
Let's go back to military school. What got you in there?
Well, did I cover what you were talking about with the childhood stuff?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.